Another week, another one-score victory. But chalk up another dub for the Philadelphia Eagles. They are now 2-0 in the season, and after playing less than stellar and far from perfect these past 2 weeks, we have a lot to improve upon. But that being said, there is a lot of room for growth and development. What's up? It's your boy Centron coming back at you with another analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And man, watched this one several hours ago, but still enjoying, what was a close game, closer than it should have been. But there was a lot of factors that goes into that. But happy to see that they finally kicked into survival mode on some in some semblance in some efforts. But let's just get to a general review of the game and then review some of the things that happened and transpired. So, man, let's just state the obvious. Coming out here, the Eagles weren't able to establish a rhythm once again in the early goings and struggled heavily early on. And yeah, it just, we'll get to the reasoning why later, but just stubborn, man. Stubborn. But the Eagles changed the vibe with the run-heavy drive. So, we weren't really doing too well throughout the course of the game. And, we were able to run it, but we moved away from it. A classic move that in the Nick Sirianni era and the Andy Reid era and the Doug Peterson era, where they just, the disciples of the West Coast offense are too readily concerned with passing stats. And I know, down from the top down, from the owner who's been infused with the Andy Reid philosophy and who just clings to that. I get it. That's what made you successful, your bread and butter, and brought you to the table. But it's sad that we had to be forced into doing this. We didn't want to run the ball, but we were forced into doing it because it's just succeeding. Lane Johnson actually motioned to the sidelines. He's like, "I'm the head coach now. I'm the play caller now. Run it back." He said running with Swift is working. He's got 6.2 yards a pop in the first half. Let's keep it going, fellas. And why do Nick Sirianni and staff have to be bullied into using the run game? We have one of the best lines in the league, if not the best line. I believe it's the best line. And a lot of big guys out there. Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Road Raiders, Landon Dickerson. They can push, move people, move men, other men, grown-ass men against their will. Why not just let them do that? And why not, if you have to, let the passing game be complementary to the running game? And especially, this is the preseason for us, so why not let us get comfortable and get warmed up, and then try for other things in the offense? But if something's not working, stop beating your head up against the wall trying to force it to work. They showed us man coverage one look. Okay, that's the look. Okay, we identified it. Take it. Hit Devontae Smith on the fly. Touchdown, 60-yard strike. But if they're gonna if they're gonna bring walk men into the box, or into the box, but put men into coverage, 8 men into coverage. Take the underneath stuff that's there and then move on. They're gonna eventually, when you run the ball, it opens up, especially in this offense, a lot. That's why we were able to hit that deep route, because the running game was popping and working. Why not establish that and then build off of that? No, these idiots, these savants, these analytic-based guys want to force the issue, want us to be a first team. And why do you sacrifice so much? Why do you sacrifice everything for, almost I feel like the win for glory? It's like the Russell Wilson effect. Like, they wanted him to make him the MVP instead of giving Marshawn Lynch the ball. And look where it got him in that second Super Bowl. Ringless. So, I get it. Dallas Goedert wasn't, we tried to get him going. Screen game. The screen game wasn't working, so move away from it. Implement some different screens, like a double jailbreak screen. We know how to execute those, but if we're going to keep going with the same script as last year, we're not going to get the same result because teams have done extensive study on Jalen Hurts. They've studied this offense in and out, RPOs. They know that they can't give us the one-on-ones on the outside that we love. They can't. They're going to bring men into the box. They know that we hate to play small ball, and it's okay to play small ball. It's okay to dink and dunk, not out of first choice, but out of necessity until the defense opens up, and they did later because we did something that was effective, and they were on the heels. They were giving us light boxes. I'm like, if they're gonna just keep putting 2 men in the box, 1 man in the box, letting guys spy, clogging the lanes, passing lanes, that means the run game is gonna be wide open. Why not go with that? But we're just so freaking headstrong. And Jalen forced the ball in there to Smith, trying to make a play where there was none to be made over the middle, and Smith cut in, and it was picked off. It was a terrible throw because you take him back to that moment. He knows that's a bad throw. He knows that he shouldn't be forcing an issue, but he's trying to play hero ball because he wants so bad for the passing game to open up. If that's just not there, take what the defense is giving you. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like a sin for us. It's like dirty. Like, we don't want to be associated with that. So we were run heavy not by design, but out of necessity. And then, we'll get to some issues why later, like, necessitated a big night from Swift. 28 rushes for him, $175 and a touchdown. And he should have had, they were saying a couple more touchdowns, but, he was vultured by his own quarterback, getting 2 rushing TDs. I don't care how it looks. I don't care about style points, whatever works, but also take some pressure off the guy. Like, he was running the ball early, and, like, when the edge rushers, what they're doing is they're rushing upfield, but they're not rushing up, with reckless abandon. They're containing, So it's like the Madden play where the DNs smartly, they monitor the quarterback. They're almost, they're the spies. They're not, it's not on a pure rush and try to get to the quarterback. It's contained. It's a force field almost. And there's rushing lanes where, like, he can go in between the edge rushers and D tackles. They'll peel off. You have to rush different this year. Like, there's just they're playing you differently than they did last year. Some teams tried to do that, but they just didn't display the edge discipline. Now teams are actually sticking with it, at least throughout the first 2 weeks, and it forces a different approach. He's trying to roll out and go, go around them, which is playing right to their strengths. They're right there. They can just peel off their man and just make the tackle. So it demands a different approach. To even just see him rushing the ball. He got outside one time, I think, for a first down early in the first quarter or second quarter. And yeah, that was productive. But after that, shut down City. And just not smart. We run him way too much. I don't like that. Like, I want us to lean on our running backs. And I love when he stood there. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing dirty about taking the ball, handing it off to your running back, and letting him take the punishment and pounding. And Swift, let's be honest, he had excellent vision here. Like, Gainwell, he should take a back seat. He should be the third back. Second back maybe, but I would prefer Rashad Penny. But we don't trust him for some reason. Whatever reason we're seeing in practice, we don't believe that he can go with it. And he might not. It's his own read. He's too much of a straight ahead runner. Cool, but I don't know. Like, I feel like he could still have a role in short downs and distances. And then he actually caught a pass tonight, which was very positive for them to actually see him as a multifaceted back. Like, okay, this guy's not just a rusher. But we were aided heavily by that run game. Aided. It was the game. Like, when we made that switch, that changed the dynamic. Because the defense was coming out and playing very solid. Like, the pass rush was getting there. Josh Sweat was a nightmare coming off the edge, getting to Kurt. They tried to chip him. They tried to, double team him. Nothing worked. He got through it. And when Hassan Reddick is struggling right now with that thumb injury, which is affecting his hand usage, which makes it, 1.5 hands as he's using basically effectively, we can lean on the other guys. Because, Brandon came in and he abused the tackle. It was I think he caused a penalty because you can't contain the man. Using all that, 13 and a half years of knowledge that he has. And, push up the middle. Jordan Davis had a beautiful swim move where he came over the top, pop, pop, and he was right in Kirk Cousins' face and man, he hit him. I think it was an incomplete pass, but later he sacked him because he's bringing the pressure. Like Jalen Carter as well couldn't be contained. Like I mean, we were taking advantage of the linemen that were in the backup center. We actually forced the left tackle. I think he tried it early and he had to go out. Starting left tackle Christian Darrisaw, and then his backup Udo came in. Josh Sweat rushed so well, so effectively. He made the man blow his knee out. I'm like, it's not fun. I'm not laughing at his injury, but damn, it was that good. Like, yeah, it was that good, man. It's crazy. But yeah, we were getting we got a couple 3-and-outs early, and we were just wasting opportunities. The defense was so opportunistic. They forced first it was a special teams turnover. Good return by Powell, the number 4 for the Vikings. Then he fumbled the ball when he had like maybe 20 or 50, at least a 15-yard return. And man, Justin Evans forcing that fumble. He was active this game. He played better with better discipline. He looked like the best safety out there. Terrell Evans, he looked solid, but then I heard some people saying he ding him for some things. He make mistakes he made in coverage. I don't know, man. It wasn't our best effort, but I mean, it'll be obviously better with Reed Blankenship in there. But I don't know, maybe Justin Evans and Reed Blankenship could be a good duo. We'll see. But Evans came to play today. He recovered a fumble. He caused one on special teams. He was out there to play today, giving 110%. But yeah, the next fumble, I think Madison, he got forced by one of the linebackers. If it was Cunningham, I know Cunningham I think recovered one, but it might have been Morrow who forced it. I'm just like, these guys are playing. He got elevated from the practice squad, and he's out there playing. He's out there laying the wood. He's out there hitting. And then we got one from Kirk Cousins, that strip sack on Josh. He just bit in the corner, knocked the ball out. We recovered. We were setting ourselves up with good field position, and we did have to score at 20-7 at one point. Looking like we might run away. Same thing happened. So we gotta really analyze that. What's going on? Why do we, even if it's just even subconsciously, take our foot off the gas when we get up in these games? We're up on the Patriots, and then we're up on these guys, and we let them come back to have to only win by single digits in both games. So this side, I don't know if that bringing the pressure. He was bringing in some different pressure. He coached a better game this week than he did last week, but still things need to be better on the whole. But the other turnover and the biggest turnover that caused basically a 4-point swing, because it took 7 points away from them and gave us 3. So you may call it 3. I don't know. Whatever. I'm bad with the numbers, but Justin Jefferson, he had the ball, and he was going towards the pylon, try to get that extra yardage, stretched out, mistake. Terrell Evans kept with the play, and it's like reminiscent of last week. Josh Jobe staying with the play, he pushed the guy out and caused it to be him to only get 1 foot down. Keyshawn Booty or whatever. Booty. He's from LSU, so it matches the boot. But yeah, this week, Terrell Emmons playing hero, and he caused him to fumble, and the fumble went through the corner. It went over the corner of the pylon, so it was kind of like invisible space. Didn't physically touch the pylon, but went back into the back of the end zone. So touchback. Instead of getting 6 points, they got nothing, and we got the ball back, which allowed us to run a couple times with Scott, and then we were just trying to kill the clock, but actually got super positive yardage, got very good yardage. Let's not use that phrase again. And then we were able to kick a 61-yard field goal to end the first half and get 3 points. I think we went up 13-7. So that was huge, because Jake Elliott, he's been one of the MVPs for this season thus far. He missed a 55-yarder earlier in the I think first or second quarter, but more than made up for it with that kick, and that was a huge boost to us. And it really stung them, on the opposite swing. So there were 4 turnovers for the Vikings. One by us, the Hurts pick, which really was the story of the game. We've had 6 turnovers in combined in the 2 games. Huge. This defense is very opportunistic. Playing may not be the best. coverage. Like, this one for Jefferson, he went off 11 for 159, no touchdowns though, and he got his plays. He got some in, but he was kept out of the end zone. And Slay, the misusage for me, like, he wasn't pressing on him. So for me, that killed. Like, he could be, effective, but it's still like they had to scheme him open. So that was a compliment. Like, they had to scrape him across, on a crosser. Slay had to fight through the garbage, and he was able to get loose. They put him in the slot. Put him on Mario Goodrich. He had a little bit of a rough go of it. And then Devontae Maddox went out. He got hurt, the shoulder injury. He got to permanently take that spot on as a slot. They put him on one of the best, if not the best, receivers in the league. Hey man, him not giving up a touchdown on that one near the red zone, that still was it was for me a save. So I don't expect him to come out there and be a top tier player. Just hold your ground. I think still he did better for me in my mind than Josiah Scott would have done. But yeah, I mean, Josh Jobe held up kind of well. He played a decent game. He gave it like that effort on that tackle, that 62-yard reception by Addison. You got to get the tackle, man. You got to hold him there so that we can have a chance to fight for red zone points to treat or try to keep them out. But yeah, that sucked. And then him not following Claiborne across the formation, Osborne, and letting him get the most wide open, easiest touchdown, most separation you'll ever see in the NFL. There was not a guy within even 10 yards of him because everybody else followed their man, and he thought it was zone passing off coverage and just piss poor. So mental mistakes, but we had Bradbury out with a concussion. We had Maddox go out with a shoulder injury. We have Reed Blankenship out with a rib injury. So only one original member, Slay, in that secondary starting. Josh Jobe getting his feet wet. Decent game for him. And he held his own in some other plays, getting some stops and things like that, getting some key tackles. So all in all, not a bad effort by the defense, but not the best effort. So hopefully we can work out these kinks. We'll get Bradbury back, and we'll get Reed back hopefully after this break. But Nakobe Dean's gonna be out for the next 3 games, so we won't be able to activate him until week 6. But luckily, it's not a Liz Frank injury, so he doesn't have to have surgery. Just let it heal up. I think it's like a sprain or something of that sort. But yeah, man, some positives to take away. AJ Brown got frustrated. I understand that. You see Devontae Smith going off on the other side for 3 catches for $143 and 2 TDs, and then you're not getting anything. Yeah, man, that's hard, man. That sucks. But a TD, sorry. But it's gonna be weeks like this. So for me, just like a quick mention, or maybe we'll go in a little bit of detail, but the defense, so they were playing dropping 8 men in the coverage in a zone, right? In any zone, there are weaknesses. They cannot cover fully. That's why they pass off and switch, or have guys sit in the zone. There's space in front of them, in between them, or behind them, and you got to find that spacing. So that there's hitches, there's slants, there's button routes that we can run into those areas, and the ball can come out of your hands quickly. The receivers can run their routes, get into that area, right? And it's got to be pinpoint. And I don't know, it could be like side adjustments. Seth Joyner said this, that we don't do this in the offense, but we really need to add that in if we want to be able to have hot routes and zone beaters, stuff like that. It's a necessity, because if we just take what defense gives us and settle with death by 1,000 paper cuts, easily we can matriculate the ball down the field, mix in the run, which will make the play actions actually work, which is why the down the field was open on that busted coverage to Devontae Smith on that touchdown. Man, it makes such a difference. But we're so stuck in our ways right now, and we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. The run game, 175, and then Swift, he had 1 carry for 3 yards in the opener. Here, 28 for $175 and a touchdown, and pretty much was the MVP of this game. Like, the patience that he ran with, like he would bounce it, but only if that's where the read was going, not unnecessarily. Like, he would take it inside, read the guy, make them commit, and then cut up that hole that was created, and then make guys miss as well, like spin, juke. It was such a masterful game for him at the running back position. I mean, he really showed what he can do. He didn't have pop in the pass game, but the passing game wasn't on tonight, and we were trying to force things to Brown, force things to Goddard, Trey Smith open. Like, some nights it's gonna be the running game that needs to carry. The funny thing is, we experienced this last year with let's say the Green Bay game, and then you compare the Titans game, and then you compare the Commanders game 1, and then game 2 is looks completely different. Why not just be open to all strategies and being a true amorphous offense? What we were last year. Beat the defense with what their weak spot is. Take what they give us, and push it to the max. Like, I really don't understand what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish. It's it's this stat for me, and this tells the whole story, or some of the story. It paints a good picture. Anyways, against the blitz, Hurts was 8 of 11 for $153 and a touchdown. When they didn't blitz, Hurts was 10 of 12 for 40 yards and 1 interception. So he's being impatient, and that's the key. You have to exercise patience, especially as QB1, the leader of this team. They're not gonna just give it to you. They're not gonna make it easy for you. It's like waiting for Christmas. You can't wait until the receivers are open. You can't wait until there's a big chunk yardage play. Yes, manufacture force some of those throws, as far as give you a chance. Scheme things open. Yes, we're not doing enough of that, but when they try to challenge you, you can see the holes. It's just you're not showing patience enough to work through the puzzle pieces that the problems that they're presenting. You gotta have patience, So that's the whole thing for me. We're gonna go up to the drawing board. We have 11 days in between this matchup and our next one against the Bucks. Away game. We're gonna go down to Tampa, Florida, my stomping grounds, my home, where I abode, where I hail from. But figure out what we need to work on. But just patience for me. Exercise patience, and really be an Aikido master. They punch, grab it, throw. They kick, shift the weight, push back. Be the yin to the yang. It's masterful. I mean, that's what Peyton Manning used to do. Yes, they dictated offenses, but you want to be in a position where what you do is so overpowering that, okay, it can't be stopped. You can build off of that. But first you have to get established. We're not even established. We have a new identity. We're still trying to figure it out. But we're still clinging on to vestiges of the old, of last year. Let that die, like you're saying, but your actions aren't matching up. And really try and evolve. This was a game that was equally frustrating, as well as hopefully you saw a modicum. You saw a bit of that Hurts when he beat that zone, that blitz, that man blitz, and threw it to Devontae. Those plays are gonna be there. They're gonna be there, but we can't force them to make that happen. We just have to have it naturally and organically flow to us. If we don't, it's gonna be the death of us. It's gonna be the end of our season. Quote me on that. Anyways, we're gonna get up out of here, man. I didn't even get up to some of the articles, but it was. I think I covered pretty much everything. One thing we will end on, another caveat. The only reason why we were sticking with Swift, and funny, I mean, I don't think we should give him 28 carries each and every week. This guy here, Boston Scott, went out with a concussion. I didn't even notice that he was in the game. We turned Rashard Penny, but we showed that we didn't really trust him and gave him like 2 or 3 carries. Even though he had, maybe a dozen or so, sizable number of snaps. Yeah, it was out of necessity. So it wasn't that we wanted to, we had to. Anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here. This was a longer video, but par for the course for me. Anyways, you're not even watching, you're not even here though, but I love talking about the Eagles, love making these videos. But we're gonna get up out of here like I said. So as always, it's fly Eagles fly and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Centron Anime, Centron Life, or Centron Laughs, or other social media.